Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about the PrintWriter class. And the Java API provides several classes that can be used for writing data to a file and reading data from a file. So we want to look at the PrintWriter class. So let me look at the slides, and here we go. So far, programs written so far have required that data be re-entered each time the program runs. This is because the data is stored in variables and objects in RAM, and RAM disappears once the program stops running. Data may be saved in a file, which is usually stored on a computer's disk. It will remain there even after the program stops running. Input file is a file that a program reads data from, and an output file is a file that the program writes data to. A text file contains data that has been encoded as text, using a scheme such as a Unicode. This file may be opened and viewed in a text editor such as Notepad. There are also binary files which contain data that has not been converted to text, and it cannot be read using a text editor. In this chapter, we're going to concentrate just on text files. Binary files are discussed later in chapter 11 in another course. To use the Java API classes, the import statement needs to be placed near the top of the program. And we have to import java.io.star. And the star means everything within this class. So, to use the PrintWriter class, you pass the name of the file that you wish to open as a string to the PrintWriter's class constructor. And that's what this is called here, the class constructor. So studentdata.txt is the name of the file that we wish to open using PrintWriter class. And it's an argument to the PrintWriter constructor. This statement will create an empty file named studentdata.txt. The file will be created in the current directory or folder. And if the file already exists, it will be erased, and an empty file with the same name will be created. This will also create a connection between the studentdata.txt file and the PrintWriter object. So, and this is output, this is the object we created. So what the PrintWriter class allows us to do is write data to a file using the print and the print line methods, as we've been doing for data on the screen. Just as a system out object, the print line method of the PrintWriter class puts a new line character, and the print method writes data without the new line character. So here we open the file, we create output file. That's the name of the object. And we just say output file dot print line Chris. So I'll put Chris, new line. Output file, print line Catherine. We'll put Catherine in the file, new line, and it's going into names.txt. Output file dot print line Jean, new line. Once we're done writing data to the file must be closed. So we say output file dot close. And notice these are all methods. So we want to close the method. And again, to use the PrintWriter class, we have to put at the top of the source file, import java.io.star. And this brings everything in from the IO source files, all the classes contained in the IO sort files. So let's look at file write demo Java. So bring up NetBeans. Take a while. One of the things before we, there we go. Open project, file, write demo. Okay, so here's file write demo. Here's our java.io.star imported along with our Java util scanner. Here's our main. And I'm going to talk about this throws IO exception in a minute. String file name, that's the file name. String friend name, that's the friend's name. And the number of friends. So what we do is we create an object of keyboard. And the first question we ask is how many friends you have. And we're going to ask the user how many friends they have. They're going to input the information. It's going to be integer, as we declared up here. And we're stored in the variable num friends. And we'll get rid of the new line, just clear out the buffer, just make sure it's okay. And then system.out.print, enter the file name. So again, we're going to put out to the display screen what file name do you want to put it in. And the person's going to type in the file name. And it's going to be stored in this variable file name. Then we're going to create the output file object by putting the file name in here. And it's going to say for I equals 1 to the number of friends. Here's our loop. Enter the name of friend number, and it's going to say 1. So we'll put the name of the friend 1, and then we're going to output file print line, store it into that file. We're going to go for all the friends. When we're done, we're going to leave the loop, close it, and say data is written to the file. So let's try it. We'll run the project. How many friends do you have? Let's say 4. Okay, the file name, I'm going to call it names.txt. Enter the name of friend number 1. I'm going to say John, Mary, Joe, and Sarah. I don't know how to spell Sarah. There we go. Sarah. Okay. So there's my 4 names, data written to file. Let us look for it. So it's called, the name is names.txt. So I come up here, go to my Java, Philippines projects. That was file write demo. And here it's names.txt. Open it. There's John, Mary, Joe, Sarah. If I spelled Sarah right, I don't know. Okay, so let me just close this back out. Bring this back up. The one thing I didn't mention is throws IO exception. When an unexpected event occurs in a Java program, it's said that the program throws an exception. So I kind of liken it to a football game. When something goes wrong, the ref throws the flag. When something goes wrong within the IO, the program's going to throw an exception. And the exception is a signal indicating that the program cannot continue until the expected event has been dealt with. Something went wrong, something unexpected. An example is the PrintWriter object attempts to create a file, but the disk is full and the file cannot be created. When an exception is thrown, the method that is executing must either deal with it or throw it again. So if the exception is thrown when I'm trying to do something with the PrintWriter, exception is thrown, this program either has to deal with it or throw the exception again. Because PrintWriter objects are capable of throwing exceptions, code must be written to deal with the exception, allow the method to rethrow the exception. And for now, we're going to allow the method to rethrow any exception, and that's what's going on here, throws IO exception at the top. Chapter 11 again deals with handling the exception in the next course. To allow a method to rethrow an exception, write a throw clause in the method header. And here's the method header, and we write throws IO exception. The throw clause must indicate the type of exception that might be thrown. And in this case, it throws IO exception. And so any method that calls a method that uses a PrintWriter object should have a throws IO exception clause in its header. So even if I called another method and that had it in there, it should have a throw IO exception in its header. Okay, so that's everything I wanted to talk about as far as the the PrintWriter class. If you have any questions, email me or put it on the discussion board. Thank you.